Hey guys, what's up? I decided to go ahead and do an update, as usual. Um, so, I got a couple things I want to talk about in the tank. I've had two mishaps, and yeah, so let's go ahead to it. So first of all, you can see a lot of micro bubbles right now. I've been basically experimenting on water levels in the back of the tank. Basically, when you turn your pumps off, the water is going to go back into the back chambers, and the chambers are going to fill up with water. And I've had this problem for a while. Basically, what happens is the waters fill up all the way to the top, and then over time they start dripping out from here, from overflowing, um, from having too much water in the tank. So I'm experimenting with different water levels in the back return chamber, and as you can see, last time I did it, last water change, I added just a little too little water, so I'm getting a little bit of micro bubbles from water splashing down inside. So this next water change, what I'll do is I'll raise it up a little more, see what happens, and see if it overflows when I do the water test. And the reason you want to do stuff like that is in case of potential power outages, you don't want your tank to overflow when there's a power outage and stuff like that. That would be really bad. Sorry, this camera likes to auto set the lighting. So yeah, and now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a full sweep of the coral real quick, and then we can talk about the two mishaps. So here's the Monty. It's looking good. Turn down the lighting so you guys can see the color on him. So yeah, he's looking great. You can see the other ones in the back with the hermit crab on him, just crawling around. And then over here, got the Gorgonian. He is doing really good. Full polyp extension, happy, healthy, waving around, fully colored. Really nice coral. If you guys are up for the challenge of a photosynthetic Gorgonian, go for it. This is a ribbon Gorgonian. Fairly cheap compared to some coral, but yeah, they add some nice motion to the tank. So yeah. Alright, now we got the Favia, who's doing great. Whoa, why does the camera keep doing that? But yeah, the Favia is doing great. There he is. And then we got the Zoas, and the Clownfish, and then my accidental frag. More Zoas, Clownfish again. More Zoas, Rastas, and some unknown. Some unknown guys. Then we got the Chalice. So actually, I have three mishaps. So I'm not really sure if this is a mishap or not, but if you notice, if you look at the Chalice, it has a purplish, darkish tone to it right there and there. I'm not really sure what's going on there. It could be due to the shade. Could be it's just changing colors there. I'm not really sure what's happening. The other parts of it are fully colored, as you can see. Not sure. I'm just going to monitor it and see what happens over the course of the next few weeks and go from there and make my decisions. And then the second mishap, there's the urchin, that I want to talk about is my bird's nest. So if you noticed, about 2 weeks ago, got a bird's nest, put him up there to try and fill up that spot, assuming that he wouldn't get fried by the lighting because there's zoanthids growing right next to him. So assuming that fact, I put him up there, and he got fried. So now he looks like that. So I put him down there last week, and he's gotten much paler, but his polyps are much more extended now. So I'm thinking he's doing good now. We'll see what happens. They're fairly cheap, hardy coral, so I'm not really too worried about it. Everything's an experiment with this tank sometimes. So we'll see what happens over the course of the next few weeks. I'll monitor him, make sure my levels are steady, make sure all my other coral are happy. If my Monty's happy, then there's no reason this coral shouldn't be happy. So now, this second mishap, I guess you could say, is I'm going to walk over to my doser. Okay, so today morning I woke up and I noticed that there was a lot of caking, like dried alk built up on the doser shelf, and a puddle of alk on the shelf itself. And I discovered what had happened was this hose popped off the pump. So what it was doing was it was dosing alk onto the shelf instead of into the tank. Now this could present two big problems. It could either destroy your tank by not putting enough elements into the tank because it's not dosing in the tank, or it can spike your tank because it'll lose its suction or its vacuum here, and it'll drip all this alk into your tank. And now since this is at a higher elevation, what had happened was this stuff dripped into my tank, which is not good. So what I got really lucky in is that all this stuff that dripped into my tank, basically, it didn't really affect my tank's parameters. I tested my tank as soon as I discovered that had happened. I don't know how long it's been like that, but my tank was at the same levels it's always at, 90 kH alkalinity, 430 calcium, and 1320 mag. That's what I keep my tank at, and that's what it was at, so I got really lucky. I'm sure some spilled out onto the carpet down here, and then some went into the tank on the tube on the other side. So yeah, I'm not sure how long it's been like that, but that was really scary. So what I went ahead and did to fix it is I pulled the head off this guy, put it here, and then I am now going to go to the hardware store, get some small zip ties, and put a zip tie across that right there to secure it, and that should secure it in on all of them, so it doesn't come off again. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that today, later. But yeah, it just goes to show you can't really trust your system completely. You gotta inspect it. You gotta make sure everything's in check. You gotta constantly make sure everything is running smoothly, or else something bad will happen. When I discovered this thing, the tube was kind of like squished under the doser, and the tube was at a higher elevation, so that tells me that all this stuff lost its vacuum seal and went into the tank, and I got very lucky that it didn't crash my tank. So takeaway from this video is that inspect your tank. Take the time out of the day. Look at your tank, make sure everything's doing good. Don't have any secrets. Don't let the tank have secrets from you. You gotta look at your tank, see what's going on, and evaluate what you're gonna do next based on that. And just make sure everything is running smoothly, so that way you don't end up with surprises and your tank crashes or whatever. So yeah, that's about it for this video. It's a really, oh my gosh, camera. It was a really long video compared to my other ones, I think. Maybe 3 minutes longer, 4 minutes. But I had quite a bit to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and do the water change today. Actually, I'm going to do it tomorrow. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do the water change, and I will see you guys again next week. Thanks for watching.